Alright, so here we are in Riga. Everywhere's covered in snow. It's December, it's freezing cold, but it's still a beautiful city. So come along and explore with me. Let's show you Riga. Let's go. Alright, and here we go. Newcastle Airport. Time to fly to Riga. Let's go and see some snow.
So leaving my city of Newcastle behind, I'm jumping on another Ryanair flight in search of another adventure. And this time I'm joined by my good friend Tony, and it cost us only £15 to fly to the capital of Latvia.
And here we are, we have just touched down in Riga, and look what there is. Got some little bits of snow, but anyway, let's go in to the city, time to check in at the hostel, and then explore tomorrow.
We head on our way into the town centre on the 22 bus, which only costs €1.15 and takes around 30 minutes to get just outside of the old town. And then we get our first glimpse of what's in store for us in Riga.
Alright, and here we are, we have arrived in the centre of Riga. It is Christmas, very soon, so we've got a beautiful big Christmas tree, and we've also got House of the Blackheads, which I'm sure I'll be showing you tomorrow. But anyway, we're off to the hostel, get some food, then hostel, then bed. But tomorrow, hopefully, I'll give you a little glimpse of all this. This building is absolutely beautiful, so can't wait to show you it in the light. Let's go.
After a little nighttime wander and some local cuisine, we head back to the hostel and it's time for bed. An intense day of exploring awaits us tomorrow before we head to the Estonian capital of Tallinn.
Alright, so good morning. We've just came out the hostel, just over there, and we're in the magic already. We've got a beautiful Christmas market here, which isn't open yet, but we'll be checking it out later. It's about 8:45 in the morning, so still early at the moment. And we've got Riga Doms Cathedral, which is an absolutely stunning building. I'll give you a closer look. And yeah, we've got Dome Square here, so excited to check all this out later on.
Unfortunately, we didn't have much time, but if you do visit Riga, please do go and have a look inside Riga Doms Cathedral. It's beautiful and it'll only cost you a few euros. Moving on, we head down the street to see another one of the main attractions in Riga.
Just behind me here, we've got one of the main attractions in Riga. We've got the Three Brothers, these little three buildings here, which make up the oldest dwelling of houses in Riga. So this one here is from the late 15th century, so late 1400s. Those two are slightly older, but there is a museum there you can check out and go inside. So yeah, maybe we'll go and have a look inside later.
Carrying on, we head past St Jacob's Cathedral, one of the oldest buildings in Riga Old Town, originating way back around 800 years ago. And on top, it has one of the three main spires you can see in Riga Old Town.
So we're just walking through a lovely little cobbled, narrow street. But what you'll realise as I'm showing you around is that there's so much colour in this place. It's absolutely beautiful. So you've got all sorts of different colours and designs. Obviously I'll show you. The architectural style is gorgeous. One of my favourite things about Riga. Probably my favourite thing actually, but yeah. Anyway, we're just going to wander around today really and just sort of try and see the main things, maybe go inside, explore a few places. But yeah, it is a beautiful place.
You may be surprised if you've never visited Eastern Europe, but this beautifully coloured street actually seems quite typical from all the Baltic cities I've seen so far. Anyway, we carry on and find another lovely surprise.
And we've just found something pretty interesting, so I didn't actually see this last time, but we've got some of the oldest parts in Riga of the old city walls. So this was all built between the 13th and 16th centuries, but it was restored during Soviet times, hence why it looks relatively new. But I've got something really cool to tell you about that little building there. So this apartment just up here, I've just checked on Google and it said it belonged to the city's executioner, which is really cool. But what happened is he would place a rose on one of the windows and that indicated that someone was going to be beheaded. So yeah, I found that pretty cool. But anyway, let's move on and see what else we can find.
Our wander through the streets continues, and I definitely didn't expect to see a Dementor from Harry Potter, but we carry on nevertheless and find a nice little cannon and some lovely yellow buildings.
But yeah, one thing I do love about this city, you've got beautifully painted houses like this, full of colour, and then you do have sort of the more Soviet style buildings, yeah, over there, sort of quite grey, bleak, but as you'll see there are also some beautifully decorated buildings, which I will be showing you.
This was another perfect example, but unfortunately I can't find out what each emblem means or represents, so if you do know, feel free to let me know in the comments. And while walking through the city, you'll also see some of the old trams. This one is around 50 years old and is a variation of the most manufactured tram in the world, and it's still in use throughout numerous Eastern Bloc countries. But enough about trams, let's take a wander through the park.
Yeah, my hands are starting to get pretty cold now. It's about -2, -3, so not too bad. But yeah, we're just in one of the parks here. Got a lovely little river coming through. Snow everywhere. But you can see just down there, it's just starting to freeze. So yeah, I wonder if it gets a little bit colder, sort of near the end of December, start of January. I'm guessing all of that, but this whole river will freeze over. Yeah, lovely little park. I remember in May, I was sat over there sunbathing. Would you believe it? Could not believe it. With the weather at the moment. But just poking through somewhere over there, we've also got the Freedom Monument, which we'll also go and see, or one of the main attractions. Yeah, just feels magic with all the snow. I love it. I'm happy.
Just hiding in between the trees is the Freedom Monument, and pretty much all day we saw tractors cleaning up the snow. I bet they never stop all winter.
Alright, so we're still in the park. We've got a lovely little bridge with locks on if you're in love. And just here we've got the Freedom Monument, which commemorates soldiers who were killed during the Latvian War of Independence in 1918 to 1920, I believe. So yeah, it's sort of a symbol of freedom, independence, so I'm guessing it's pretty important to the Latvian people.
Made up of granite, limestone and copper, the monument proudly stands at a height of 42 metres.
So again, here we've got the Freedom Monument up nice and close, quite a tall structure. And then sort of over this way is the old town where we've just came from. So we're going to head over this way. We saw a nice fancy roof, so we're going to go over that way, check that out.
Here stands the largest Russian Orthodox church in Riga, and I've personally never seen a church quite like it. But before we take a further look, we've come across some lovely little fluff balls.
Look what we've found. We found some lovely little Soviet bunnies. How are they not freezing? Cute.
They definitely were a nice little surprise. I could have sat and watched them all day, although I was half wondering whether they were there to be admired or slaughtered and served in a nice stew.
And this is also something I didn't see last time. Just behind me here we've got a beautiful Russian Orthodox church. I've never seen anything quite like it. It is very nice.
I never got to visit inside, but a friend I know recommends it. He even said that he was allowed to go in and walk around while there was a wedding going on, which is a bit crazy. Anyway, carrying on through the streets, we find some grey blocky buildings that you'd perhaps expect to find in a former territory of the Russian Empire. And then we find ourselves in a lovely little shopping centre with a beautiful fountain before we move on to explore some new places.
Alright, so next little mission, we are going to head to the central market, but first I thought I'd point out a couple of nice little shopping centres here, and I don't know if we'll be going here today, but this Latvian Academy of Sciences building, I think is what it's called. Last time I was in Riga, there's a really good viewpoint up there, so I thought I'd just mention that to you. If you're coming to Riga, head to that building there. There's a good viewpoint for probably a few euros or something. Best view in the city. But anyway, we're going to head to Central Market by the river, just over this way.
Made up of 5 pavilions and a large outdoor area, here is probably one of the largest markets in Europe, with around 100,000 visitors per day. Now let's go and take a closer look.
Okay, now here we are. We've made it to the Central Market. Now these buildings look pretty interesting, and they are. So I believe it was old German Zeppelin hangars, which I think were deconstructed and then reconstructed, and this was built in the 1920s, and it's now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is pretty cool, as part of the old town, I believe. So yeah, let's go and have a look inside. If I remember rightly, this is one of the biggest markets in Europe. It's pretty cool. We're going to head outside now and see what's there. But yeah, pretty big as well. So you can see we've got loads of empty stalls outside in the market, but back in the summer all of these were just full of fruit, like piles and piles of fruit, and lots of cherries, strangely enough. Much like cherries here. But yeah, so I think we're going to head to that building which has the good viewpoint. Hopefully we can get up there and I'll give you some amazing views of the city.
Just a 5-minute walk from the Central Market, you should be able to see the Latvian Academy of Sciences building quite easily, and thankfully it has an observation deck.
So if you want the best views in the city, this is where you want to go, through here. Right, so we've got our tickets, but heads up, it's €6, but you can only pay with cash. So you might be like us and you have to go and find a cash machine. €6. Alright, are you ready for the best views in Riga? Take a look at that. The radio tower, one of the tallest structures in Europe. I'm just going off memory here, so it might not be right, but anyway, I'll show you on the other side. But here we are, just behind me here, we have got the old town pretty much just here. You can see Riga Doms Cathedral poking out. You've got a few of the church spires anyway. And then you've got the river Daugava, I believe. Probably not said that right, but yeah. Just all the white is just, I love it. Absolutely beautiful. So, and we've got the central market just there as well. You can see like the old hangars. Yeah, I love it. Beautiful.
If you're from England like me, we barely get any snow anymore, so it is just beautiful to see the whole landscape with a white coating. It definitely brings that magical feeling back to Christmas. And I really do hope you appreciate these drone shots, because my fingers nearly fell off, but it is always nice to get an aerial perspective.
Alright, so we've done the observation deck, absolutely stunning. Just behind me here we've got the river Daugava. We're just walking along here. We're going to go and see the castle, which isn't really much of a castle. How rude. Which isn't really much of a castle. And then we're going to go inside House of the Blackheads, which looks lovely inside. I've not been in there, so that's exciting. Yeah, so you've got the river Daugava here, which originates in Russia, about 1,000 kilometers long, and then goes out into the Baltic Sea, a few miles over that way. But anyway, let's go and check out the castle. Right, and then we have here the castle. Oh, it's not much of a castle, is it really? Yeah, never mind.
Now the home of the Latvian president, the castle was originally built in 1330, but it will have been thoroughly rebuilt throughout its history. There is also a museum inside, which may be worth taking a look at.
So the castle might be a little bit disappointing, but this is why I love Riga. Just got like lovely little church there. Just all the different designs, colours of the buildings. It's got like a nice green and like a purpley, pinky, not purple, you know what I mean? It's that pinky sort of colour, salmon. And then like strange old sort of buildings like this one here. Yeah, it really is. Got a lot of character. It's lovely. Great to just wander through, see all the different buildings, all the different architectural styles. And we've got back at the Christmas market there at Dome Square, so let's go and have a look at the Christmas market.
I ended up getting distracted again. We decided to see the House of the Blackheads and then we'll go and see the Christmas market.
And almost finishing off for the day in Riga here, we have a lovely little Christmas tree. And then probably one of the most popular sights to see is the House of the Blackheads here. Now it is very eccentric, beautiful building, originally built in the first third of the 14th century, but obviously it would have been redeveloped a lot since then. It was also destroyed, or pretty much destroyed by the Germans in the Second World War, and then apparently the Russians just flattened it after that. So it's obviously been rebuilt in about the 1990s. So yeah, you can go inside and check it out, which we were hoping to do, but it's shut on a Monday, and it's a Monday, so yeah, it looks like we won't be able to go in and see that, but it is an absolutely stunning building.
And here we're looking onto the town hall square, with the iconic House of the Blackheads in the background. And if you have the time and the money, it's probably worth taking a look inside. It looks pretty fancy.
Then also just over here, poking out there, you can see there's another one of the church spires. You've got like 3 sort of main spires that poke out in the old town, but it is beautiful, isn't it? A bit odd, but very nice.
And you'll be pleased to know that now it's finally time to check out the Christmas markets. So we head back over to Dome Square to see what it's like.
So here we are, we have got a Latvian Christmas market with the Riga Cathedral. Let's see what we can find there. Got some crepes. Some big sausage things there. Plenty of sweets. Oh, I've just got a nice Nice smell of cinnamon there, I like cinnamon. Lots of mulled wine. Lovely. Got the Christmas tunes on, nice big Christmas tree.
A lot of the stalls had things like wintry hats and jumpers, and there were also some cool candles, but the most popular stores had mulled wine and hot festive drinks and some delicious looking food, although the pig's head is a bit off-putting. And just before we have to leave for the coach to our next destination, a lovely couple put on a nice show for everyone while their baby probably turned into an ice cube. And for those of you who've watched my hiking videos, you'll know that I was really pleased to be surprised by my little sheepy friends. But anyway, that pretty much wraps up this short trip in Riga. I do have another video from my summer trip if that's of interest. But on this occasion, we were only in Riga for like 8 hours, so there is plenty more to see and do than I've shown in this video. And now, we head to the perfect Christmas destination. Around 4 hours from Riga is the capital city of Estonia, Tallinn. It's the snowiest city in Europe, and I really fell in love with it. So if you enjoyed this video, I think you'll love this one even more. So come along with me and get lost in the beautiful old town of Tallinn, amongst the colourful buildings, dramatic old city walls, and of course, the Christmas markets. And that's all from me this time. See you next week.